One of his men is a highly respected New York attorney, Lucas A. Ferrara. The other is a self-proclaimed man of the people, known as Mert Roberts. Their aim is to discuss the hottest issues impacting our city, state, and nation. Fasten your seatbelt. Shake it off with Mert and Lucas. Live starts now on AM 970. The Answer.
What's that one called, Alex?
Good evening, Lucas. That is called Barbie by Contra.
Barbie. Smart choice, given who we're going to talk about next. She has called herself Harajuku Barbie, a hyper-feminine, fashion-obsessed persona. Any idea who I'm talking about, Mert?
No, I don't have any idea.
Harajuku Barbie. Hey, Gabby, any idea who I'm talking about?
I don't have any idea either.
Well, it's none other than Nicki Minaj. She's a genre-bending rap superstar with global reach. And Minaj, she's never... Minaj. How do you say her name? Minaj.
Nicki Minaj. Get the name right. If you go talk about the lady, have some respect.
All right, so Minaj. I'm Italian, so I'm going to say it like Minaj, like the curse word. But anyway, Minaj has never been subtle. Not in her music, not in her visuals, not in her public feuds, and certainly not in the way she commands attention. Now, even by Minaj's standards, her appearance in late December at Turning Point USA's America Fest, which is a 4-day conservative mega rally that blends political fervor with influencer spectacle, landed like a cultural earthquake. Are you a Minaj fan, Bert?
Well, she's good. I don't mind her music, so I'm not usually a big fan of the female rappers, but she's got some good songs.
So you're not a Barbs? You're not a Barbs?
No, I'm not a Barb. Nope.
Yeah. How about you, Gabby? Are you a Barbs?
Not particularly, no.
And did you hear about that appearance when she was at the America Fest? Because it made all the papers.
Yeah, I'm just interested. Where are we going with this? Because I got to watch you because you're very slick with how you talk about things. So I'm very interested to see where this is going. I'm just following along.
If you recall the news, she didn't rap. She didn't present a new single. She didn't talk about a tour. She simply showed up. And that was enough to trigger weeks of news from her fan base and thrust her into a center of a political storm that she may not have fully anticipated.
Hold up a second. This is hypocrisy on your behalf because I remember you said something about Beyonce not performing. But keep going. I'm just keeping track of how you operate.
Beyonce not performing at the Kabbalah thing.
I'm just keeping track. You keep going. I'm just
but wait
keeping
a
track.
second. The fact that she didn't perform wasn't the issue. The fact that she showed up at a MAGA event is
right.
What was the issue, okay? Come on, don't distort the news. When she walked on stage, she was wearing a black ensemble, flanked by security, smiling as the crowd roared. It was not just a celebrity cameo, it was cultural rapture. At that moment, she forced millions to ask, what is Minaj doing here at America Fest? And more importantly, what does it mean? So let me ask you, Bert, what do you think it means when she shows up at AmeriFest, whatever it's called, America Fest, which is basically a MAGA event?
Well, I think it's always strategy when you see people cross into different lanes, different worlds, maybe even a different universe, because not a lot of people would, attach a Nicki Minaj to anything MAGA. But it is very strategic because if you are paying attention to what's going on in Miss Minaj's personal life, she's being attacked by her fans.
That's right. That's the point.
Who are ardent anti-Trumpers, excuse me. So as a retaliation, as a standing firm in what her beliefs are, she's crossing over into the MAGA movement. And I just want to caution anybody who's a Trump supporter, don't think that Trump is protected from being used and abused by people out there with ulterior motives. I don't think Nicki Minaj cares too much about the policies, and I don't think she cares too much about how, all these MAGA supporters feel about politics in general. I think she's using the movement to bolster herself and to tell her fans, if you don't support me, I will go somewhere else where they will support me. And you Trump supporters out there are being hoodwinked and taken for a while. You're being played. You're being manipulated. And I don't think a lot of you realize it, because you are so, MAGA supporters are so thirsty to be cool. And what's cooler than a rapper? That they will allow a rapper to come in and just co-opt their whole movement, because she got top billing over so many MAGA influencers who would love to be on that stage talking with Ms. Kirk. But a rapper who's never been a Trump supporter gets top billing. I caution you Trump supporters out there, the MAGA movement, don't let your movement be co-opted, because it could easily happen.
Well, co-opted, this seemed to be a shift. This seemed to show that she was shifting to the MAGA side. So how is she co-opting the movement? I think this is a rejection of the left, basically.
And that's how they get tricked. That's how they get tricked, because I can easily sell you that, because why is she all of a sudden shifting now? She should have shifted years ago. It's been a lot of time that the MAGA movement has been at the forefront of politics. Why all of a sudden, when you're being attacked by your own fan base, do you all of a sudden want to make a shift, and all of a sudden you want to be MAGA? It's because she is using the movement for selfish reasons. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not MAGA. But I can call it down the line, because Mert is the fairest person you ever see. As the 25 champion of the trivia contest, I know a thing or two. I know a thing or two. Whoa. Wait a minute. I know a thing or two about trivia and history. And I know when history is saying someone is genuine, and I know when history is saying someone is being...
So wait a second. So you're saying that she wasn't genuine when she went on that stage and praised Trump, and she said a lot of things that were interesting that I'd like to get your reaction to, but you don't think she was genuine?
Listen, they say a woman scorned is a very dangerous thing. I think she's a woman scorned, and I think she's lashing out at the people who, would support her. And one of the best ways to hurt the supporters of hip-hop in general is to say, I'm pro-Trump, because Trump usually is anti-hip-hop. Not the man, but the whole movement is usually anti-black.
Anti-hip-hop. He and Snoop Dogg were in music videos years ago. I mean, the guy is cultured like that.
So, Alex, what do you think? Do you think she's co-opting, or that she's making a switch because she's rejecting, the left and their...
She's like so many of them that are rejecting the left and the leftist policies. I think that's what it is.
That's how I perceived it too, Mert. I mean, he said things on this stage. Let me go through some of the quotes, and then you can react to it. She said, "I have the utmost respect and admiration for our president." Now, that statement in of itself is enough of it to alienate like millions of people on the left. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
Right and then she said, she called Trump, quote, "our handsome, dashing president," end quote. Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I don't find the president particularly attractive, but to each his own, or her own. She said she loves both of them, referring to Trump and Vance. And then she said, this administration is full of people with heart and soul, and they know, and the way it gets better, and they make me proud of them. So that's an interesting quote, given everything that's going on with ICE and all the controversies with ICE, and how the left is using ICE as an excuse for raids, for mass protests. So it's all very interesting that she thinks that Trump is dashing, and she's proud of him.
If you pay attention to everything you just said there was nothing of substance. She talked about how good the man looks. She talks about everybody being great people with nice hearts and all this stuff.
And
but she
respect and admiration.
She was up on that stage for almost an hour, it seems like, and I didn't hear anything about policy.
Well, she called.
So if she's not,
she got worse. She got worse. She called Gavin Newsom new scum. taking the Trump name.
No substance. No substance there. No substance.
Thank you. We're here all week. And then she said, imagine being the guy running on wanting to see trans kids. And that was an attack on Newsom as well. She was saying things like, you will not win. This was her comment to Newsom. So that's...
Well, she's playing it very safe because I'm going to say this. The black community isn't very trans-friendly. Now, there's pockets that are, but in general, black people are very conservative when it comes to issues like gay and trans.
Now you're being inconsistent, so it's not co-op. She's identifying with...
Well, hold on, because I can see why you would be confused by that, because it's a very tricky thing that she's doing. You speak to something you already agree with, but not a lot of black people agree with the Trump movement because, for the most part, his other policies go against what black people support, taking away entitlements and stuff like that. The black community doesn't usually support stuff like that, but one thing the black community does support is, let's stay away from this trans stuff. Let's not try to make this, like the normal. You can find that a lot in the black community. So it is very easy for her to go up on stage and to highlight something that she knows a lot of Trump supporters will gravitate towards. But if you pay attention, you will not see her talk about anything else because she doesn't have that knowledge, because she's co-opting MAGA for personal gain. I wonder how her concerts and CD sales are doing now that she got a new market for looking into her a little bit more. Maybe her streams went up a little bit.
But she may have been alienating the LGBTQ, plus community.
Who have been her biggest supporters. So why would she all of a sudden be doing that?
Well, that's why I'm not agreeing with your co-op. I think it may be a matter of principle. Alex, what do you think? Because she said things like, on the stage, boys should be boys, and girls should be proud of how they look. I mean, she's going against the leftist ideology.
I also think the African American community has run away from the Democrats in the last few years alone. I mean, we've seen it in the last few elections alone. They run away from the Democrats. Aren't you guys seeing that? I mean,
no, we're not seeing that. And Nicki Minaj has been on stage.
I would agree.
Listen to me though, real quick. Nicki Minaj has been on stage with transgender people, performing, embracing them, saying that they're her sisters when this is clearly a man dressed up as a woman. She's participated strongly in that movement. Now all of a sudden she's going through some turmoil with her fans because they disagree with how she's treating other rappers in the community. Now she wants to be anti-trans. This is a woman scorned here, and you guys are falling for it. And you better be careful, because I might just come in and start stealing money from y'all if y'all are that easy to be manipulated. If it's that easy to manipulate the MAGA people, I might just go start waving.
All right, I want to make a compare and contrast here. MTG, are you glad she's now speaking out against Trump? Because she sounds like a woman scorned also, if you want to go there. I just feel like...
That's the perfect comparison right there.
You're talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
She's doing the same. She's doing the same thing. She's speaking out against one issue, and guess what Democrats are doing? Come on The View and have a seat. We want to hear you speak now. It's one issue that she disagrees with, but everything else she still supports.
That's right. She's not aligning with the left. She's got some issues.
Nicki Minaj is doing the same thing. I just seen a report about MTG. Setting up the president by telling protesters to go where he was eating at a restaurant or something like that. Why is all this stuff coming out now? It's because she's inflamed the base, and now she's looking for support from other places, and now she's going to traditionally liberal outlets and getting support. And that was a smart thing you brought up, Alex, because she's doing the same thing Nicki Minaj is.
No. It's totally different.
It's the same thing.
This is a total realignment, as far as I'm concerned, what Nicki Minaj is doing.
You would like that, wouldn't you?
And by the way, she spoke about her Christian faith and aligned herself with Trump and Vance on issues involving Christians, particularly in Nigeria. Christians allegedly are being killed, or reportedly being killed, and she believes that not enough is being done to stop that. So there are really important issues here, Mert, that she's basically saying, and this was the last quote, that she was, quote, tired of being pushed around and done backing away from her beliefs. And I think that was a sentiment we talked about a couple of months ago when the election was underway. People were ashamed of expressing their opinion because they didn't want the backlash from Dems about being racist or or transphobic or whatever the case may be. So I think people are tired, and Minaj is tired.
No, to fully understand this, you need to understand this one key detail about why Nicki Minaj is turning her back on her traditional fan base. Nicki Minaj is married to a sex offender. They have been targeting her and blowing this up and saying all kind of jokes about her husband not being able to be close to a school and just terrorizing this woman with this information. That's enough to drive a woman to go against her fans. She no longer has anything to lose in her mind because she feels betrayed. So what's the best way to attack your fan base, who you once loved, who once supported you? Go to the opposite side. And she does not align with MAGA at all. She does not believe in anything MAGA. She is co-opting that entire movement, and she's doing it to launch warfare against her fans. And you two I don't know if Gabby's falling for it, but I wouldn't be surprised if she's falling for it too. But I know you two.
She's actually a very free thinker, Gabby is. So.
Yo, Gabby, so let Gabby speak first.
Yeah, let Gabby speak.
Gabby, what's your thought about this whole thing? Is Mert wrong again?
I don't necessarily think it's co-opting, as Mert said, but
here she go.
I believe that she says certain things in certain ways for shock value, for sure. But I don't think it's co-opting at all. No, I don't.
Well, she confirmed what I was saying. She agrees. She's falling right in line with you two. And I'm not surprised because, Gabby, are you MAGA? You're a Trump supporter, right? I just want to get this on the record so the fans could know. You're a Trump supporter, right?
In the last election, I did vote for Trump, yes.
Okay, so it makes sense. And, so I just think you guys better be careful, because I might go make a T-shirt.
But my question is, why can't she have her own views? Why can't Minaj have her own views, Mert, without being judged for it? Like, why can't she be her own person in this regard?
Because I wouldn't encourage anyone to take somebody making a statement one week, and I would say forget everything they've said for the past 20 years that we've known this person. I wouldn't tell anybody to take that seriously. I would say we need to see a lot more evidence that you've really changed. A quick change like that is not good enough for me.
You know what? I think, Mert, you have a point, because Nicki Minaj has reinvented herself many, many times over the course of her career. As a rapper, a pop star, provocateur, a businesswoman, a cultural icon. But America Fest may be the reinvention that defines her legacy, my friend. Not because she endorsed a candidate, not because she made a political speech, and not because she courted controversy, but because she crossed the line between celebrity and politics, and did so when every gesture is magnified, every word is weaponized, every appearance is a statement. Whether she intended it or not, Mert, Nicki Minaj has become a political figure, and political figures don't get to choose how they're interpreted. They only get to choose what they do next. And guess what we're doing next? We're welcoming you to episode 79 of Shake It Off with Mert and Lucas Live. We're truly honored to have you along with us. 79, come on, let me hear an amen. This is Lucas Ferrara. And there they go. And we're ever mindful that without you, we're nothing. We have some special guests for you today. But first, I want to thank my co-host. You heard from him, the Mertinator, Mert Roberts, working the board, Alex Garrett, and you also heard from Princess Gabby Pisani. Great to have you in the studio with us. When we come back, Dr. Joanna Massey. She's the author of a great book. It's called Free Speech is Not a Free Pass to Spew Hate. So don't dare drift. Don't wander. Don't blink. Shake it off with Mert, Alex, Gabby, Dr. Joanna Massey, all of us here at AM 970, right after these messages. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been helping America's heroes ever since. When a first responder or military service member doesn't come home and young children are left behind, Tunnel to Towers pays the mortgage on the family home. For catastrophically injured veterans and first responders, Tunnel to Towers builds mortgage-free smart homes. Through the Foundation's Homeless Veteran Program, Tunnel to Towers is providing housing and services to homeless veterans. The Foundation is helping America to never forget 9/11 and its heroes through hundreds of events across the nation, while its 9/11 Institute helps teachers educate children about our nation's darkest day. People who put their lives on the line for our country and our communities need your help. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices of America's heroes. Donate $11 a month and consider amplifying your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
The new year means new resolutions, not just for your body, but for your finances as well. Did you know that financial health is directly related to your identity protection? This is why you need LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your subscription money back. Resolve to make your identity, health, and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Visit LifeLock.com and save up to 40% off your first year with a promo code BECK. Terms apply.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
Over the last 30 years, Newman Ferrara, a New York City law firm, has evolved into a national practice focused on real estate, commercial, litigation, civil rights, class actions, and other complex litigation, representing many of the city's largest property owners, managing agents, and thousands of tenants. Newman Ferrara handles some of the nation's most significant class actions and civil rights matters. Newman Ferrara at 1250 Broadway in New York City. Go online to newmanferrara.com. That's newmanferrara.com. Listen to the firm's name partner, Lucas Ferrara, every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Dottie Herman's longest-running real estate radio program, Eye on Real Estate on AM 970. A real estate lawyer for 35 years, Lucas is a professor at New York Law School and is also a published author with books on real estate and New York's landlord-tenant law. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to hear Lucas's unique perspective and advice on Eye on Real Estate.
Chronic absenteeism is on the rise.
Sophia A., absent. Julio M., absent.
These absences are often due to the absence of crucial needs, like food, transportation, and health care.
Olivia H., absent.
Preston L., absent.
But site coordinators from communities and schools connect kids to the resources they need so they show up prepared and ready to learn.
Jacob O.,
present.
Visit communitiesinschools.org. Being present matters.
Feel like you're trying to push a boulder uphill wearing skates? If you run or manage a local business today, you're challenged like never before. We get it, and we want to help. We're Salem Surround. We're a full-service marketing agency that'll help you increase your customer base by designing incredibly effective plans to reach your consumers day, night, and everywhere they might be.
If you're a local business and want to see what Salem Surround can do for you, Google Salem Surround New York. Remember to Google Salem Surround New York today.
Welcome back to Shake It Off with Mert and Lucas, live on AM 970, The Answer.
Oh, that's a great beat. What's that called, Alex?
This is called Hate You by Contra. You got me mixing the boards tonight here, Lucas.
Hate you? What kind of talk is that? Sounds like hate speech to me. Now, while I'm not sure whether I should be offended, it's a perfect...
I can never hate you, Lucas.
It's a perfect song. Whether you did or not, it's a perfect song. give it our next guest, Dr. Joanna Massey. She's a public company board director, former Fortune 250 500 senior communications executive, and a leading voice on free speech, digital harm, and the future of public discourse. Dr. Massey has spent more than 30 years in senior leadership roles at major media companies, including CBS, Viacom, Lionsgate, Discovery, Hasbro, and Condé Nast. She has overseen corporate communications, crisis management, brand reputation, and culture transformation, advising CEOs and chairpeople through high-stakes moments involving public trust, regulatory scrutiny, and organizational stability. She currently serves as chairman of the board or lead independent director for multiple public and private companies, with committee experience spanning audit, compensation, nominating, and governance. It's amazing stuff. She's got advanced degrees in psychology, business, and U.S. business law. Dr. Massey brings a rare interdisciplinary perspective to conversations about communication, harm, and the First Amendment in the digital age. She's the author of several books, including her latest, Free Speech is Not a Free Pass to Spew Hate. Love that title, which examines how weaponized speech spreads, what the First Amendment does and does not protect, and how society can balance expression with accountability. And if that weren't enough, she's also the creator of the Massey Method, a 3-step framework for breaking the hostility loop and restoring civil discourse. We need to talk about her. We need to talk to her about that. Welcome to the program, Dr. Massey.
Thank you, and thank you for that excellent introduction.
Well, you're very, very impressive in your credentials, so that's the least I could do. So pray tell, Doc, what's the hostility loop? Can you tell us what the hostility loop is?
It's a term that I came up with. It's essentially where you get into a situation where anger begets more anger, and it's difficult to get out of. Anger is a very easy emotion for human beings to feel and express and go to. It comes from fear. Fear is the sponsoring emotion, if you will. And so the hostility loop is when you get into fear and are unable to break what's really a fear cycle, but what comes out as hostility and anger.
You know what?
Doc, that's the Murdinator. Be careful. Watch out for the Murdinator.
Doc, you have nothing to fear. Doc, you have nothing to fear here. But I'm glad that you're on, because this hostility loop is something that I've personally experienced.
I'm sure you have.
Listen, especially around here with some of my colleagues, because I don't know if they told you, but I'm the 25 trivia champion around the office.
That's not true, Doc. That's not true.
There was cheating that took place where it might have seemed like I actually lost, but there was cheating that took place. So it turns out I was the victor of that. So, Doc, in a situation like that, where does the hostility come from? What would make my colleagues want to tear me down because I was clearly going to win this contest? But I have colleagues. I have colleagues who want to attack me and see me lose. Why is this? Because I'm noticing this throughout society, and we can spread it out. Why is this more common these days? Because I've personally experienced it, and I see it out there, with the news and politics. Everything is so, we want to see somebody lose so badly. Where is this coming from? Because I don't remember it being like that in past generations. Why is this emerging now?
I don't remember it being like that either, and maybe that's rose-colored glasses looking backward. But what's happening now has a lot to do with AI and social media, because artificial intelligence has been in our lives for more than 30 years, from the advent of the internet and regular people like you and me getting access to the internet. Suddenly we had Google, and you had to search, trillions of pieces of information, and it had to all come down to one page, basically, of results. And Google uses artificial intelligence to do that, to help predict what you're looking for and what's going to be the right answer for you. So we've actually been manipulated by artificial intelligence for over 30 years. And if something controls what you see, it manipulates what you think, because it's controlled what we see. It's controlled the information we're getting. If you think about it, it used to be where I'd pick up USA Today, the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Los Angeles Times, name a paper, and I'd see stories. It was all I had access to, and I'd see stories that were pretty straightforward on all sorts of topics. And then I formed my own opinion, or maybe I heard a colleague or a family member have an opinion on it. But either way, information spread took time. It took thought. It took analysis.
Doc, let me ask you this. So, do you feel like social media has turned more people into fans of themselves, and anybody else's success or anything that another person is doing well is an attack or some kind of way a threat to me? Is that part of it as well? Because when you say social media, that's what I think of. I think of everybody trying to tear something down to boost their own social media presence, to boost their own profile, to boost their own success. So is that part of it too?
I wouldn't say that it's about tearing people down. It's more really, truly about fear. Because what's happened is we've gotten into our own little bubble. And when you get, this goes way back, but think about it this way. Human beings, when we, like in the ancient days where our biggest concern was there's a tiger behind the tree, run because it's going to eat me, like that, we have a survival system that's built into us, and that survival system is very strong. It's part of what we call the automatic brain. The automatic brain does exactly what it sounds like. It responds automatically, unconsciously, without your ability to control it. And so the automatic brain is for the survival system. When someone attacks you, and when someone comes at you, the automatic brain doesn't know the difference between a tiger and a tweet. So when somebody attacks you, we're going to get defensive. We're going to go into fight, flight, or freeze. And what you're seeing on social media is not just a lot of fight. Yes, there is a lot, but it's also controlled by the algorithms. And this is where I said AI and social media come into play. Social media companies juice their algorithms in order to promote material that is going to keep you engaged and scrolling, because that's how they sell ads.
Right.
And what keeps us human beings engaged in scrolling is not, puppy dogs and cats on Zumbas, right? It's something that makes us angry. It's something that inflames us. That's going to make us react. I want to keep going. I need to say something about this. And so what's happening is the social media companies are inserting really their own voice by promoting the things that are most inflammatory. So truthfully, our problem is not red or blue, it's green. Meaning the problem is not Democrats or Republicans, it's money. Social media companies make money by promoting hate, and in return, it's dividing society.
So that's why you're of the view that the most dangerous voice in the conversation isn't human, it's the algorithm. Is that where that position comes from?
Yes, that's exactly where that comes from. And thanks for looking at least at part of my book. That's great. That's exactly where it comes from, because the algorithms are trained to, like I said, it's supposed to keep us scrolling. And nice and soft and cuddly they're great, but that doesn't keep us engaged. What keeps us engaged is something that inflames us. It's frankly something that, you've heard the expression, a train wreck. You can't look away from a train wreck. That's the type of thing that keeps a human being engaged, and it's because of our survival system. And social media and the anger that the algorithms are promoting unnaturally, by the way, right? They're promoting it unnaturally. I mean, there have been suggestions to say, okay, neutralize the algorithms. Don't even have the algorithms. Just let whatever floats to the top float to the top. Bet you anything it's not this hatred. Well, To be determined, possibly. That's possible. We don't know because for so long the social media has been promoting. These companies have been promoting what's going to keep you engaged, and like I said, what keeps you engaged is the stuff that's hateful.
Hold that thought. We have to take a quick commercial break, believe it or not. But have no fear, Dr. Joanna Massey will be rejoining us after these commercial messages. Her book, Free Speech is Not a Free Pass to Spew Hate, is available now at Amazon and other major booksellers. And visit her website, JoannaMassey.com. We'll also post links on our website, Shake It Off Live. Mert, Alex, Gabby, Dr. Massey, and I certainly hope you'll stay tuned. Stay with us. Joanna Massey breaks down why the internet thinks it's a debate stage, a therapy session, and a demolition derby all at once. She'll help us figure out how to talk to each other without needing a helmet.
February 20th is AM 970 The Answer's Employment Open House event at our Manhattan office and studio location right next to Trinity Church. This open house event is designed to introduce you to the type of employment opportunities that exist in broadcasting and meet some of the managers at the station. The January 20th open house is free to attend, but you must call the AM 970 business office to register to be added to the guest list. Call Peter in the business office at 212-372-0097 extension 8 to sign up. We'll see you Tuesday, January 20th.
Over the last 30 years, Newman Ferrara, a New York City law firm, has evolved into a national practice focused on real estate, commercial, litigation, civil rights, class actions, and other complex litigation, representing many of the city's largest property owners, managing agents, and thousands of tenants. Newman Ferrara handles some of the nation's most significant class actions and civil rights matters. Newman Ferrara at 1250 Broadway in New York City. Go online to newmanferrara.com. That's newmanferrara.com. Listen to the firm's name partner, Lucas Ferrara, every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Dottie Herman's longest-running real estate radio program, Eye on Real Estate on AM 970. A real estate lawyer for 35 years, Lucas is a professor at New York Law School and is also a published author with books on real estate and New York's landlord-tenant law. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to hear Lucas's unique perspective and advice on Eye on Real Estate.
Hi, it's Arthur Idala here for Bay Ridge Honda, run by my family friend Rob Sabah, the family-owned and operated Honda dealer, proudly serving the 5 boroughs for over 60 years. I've gotten cars there, my grandfather, my sister, the whole family. Bay Ridge Honda, they treat you like family. Rob Sabah and his team are the best and the most trusted in the business. Their winter sales deals are here. There's no better time to get an SUV built for the winter. Drive home a 2025 Ridgeline Sport for as low as $289 a month with $4,299 down, or get behind the wheel of a 2026 Passport RTL starting at just $389 a month with $4,599 down. Don't wait. Stop by Bay Ridge Honda at 4th Avenue and 88th Street in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, or check them out at BayRidgeHonda.com, BayRidgeHonda.com for complete details.
I'm the thread that's already inside the house. In the closet, under the bed, in the car. But I don't want your money or your TV. I can't be scared away or negotiated with. I'm patient and quiet. I don't sleep. You can't call the cops on me. You can't even see me. I'm the threat of family fire. And as long as your guns aren't stored securely, I'll be there. Protect your family. Secure all your guns. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Fueled by passion.
Hand up, Starling curls down the middle of the lane, puts it in and one. Pitch it into Freeman, his shot front rim around the net.
We are upstate New York's team.
Pitch ahead, Starling, 3-ball, yes and one. Freeman on the breakout, splits 2 defenders, scores and one. Turnaround 10-footer, good. With the shot clock down at 5. JJ does his thing.
Listen all season long on your home for Syracuse basketball.
At AM 970, The Answer. Shake It Off with Mert and Lucas, live on AM 970. The Answer.
Dr. Joanna Massey. She's a veteran communication strategist and expert on free speech, digital behavior, and generational change. Her book, Free Speech is Not a Free Pass to Spew Hate, offers a sharp look at why our conversations keep breaking down and how to fix them. It's available now at Amazon and other major booksellers. For more information about Dr. Massey and her work, visit her website. It's Joanna Massey, M-A-S-S-E-Y, JoannaMassey.com. We'll also post links to Dr. Massey and her book on our website, ShakeItOffLive.com. Now, Dr. Massey, should there be more restrictions on social media companies like TikTok and Facebook and Instagram? Because basically they have too much power if they're allowed to play with our heads. No?
I think that it's a tough question because I'm not one to say, like, let's put laws and, let's throw up more laws and whatnot. I think there needs to be a lot more transparency. I do believe that one of the things that social media companies did, if you remember at the beginning of COVID, was there was a lot of taking down misinformation. And people started to yell, free speech, freedom of speech, you're squelching my free speech. It's actually not true. They're not squelching anybody's free speech. Free speech in the Bill of Rights, the U.S. Constitution, free speech protects us as Americans against the government suppressing our free speech. It doesn't say anything about a private company. A private company is within its rights to tell you what to say and what you can't. What can you say, what you can't say, how you need to dress for work, how you don't dress, what time you show up to work. It's a private company. So the truth is that those companies had that right. I don't think that anybody truly understood that because it really started to run away with it in terms of now people can say, they think they can say anything, and they do say anything, and there's nobody policing that in a way where, sure, you have the right to say whatever you want in the United States. You're still responsible for the results of your words.
Well, Doc, I got to ask you this, though, because I'm going to go at you a little bit. I agree with you, Doctor. Go ahead. But, Doc, who gets to decide who gets to say what? Because that's the argument people throw out there.
That's the problem. That is the problem.
Who gets to decide what's acceptable and what's not?
So I talk about an idea of there's two questions that you're actually asking, and I'm going to go at one of them first, and then hopefully we'll have time. We'll go to the second half of it. The first thing is, who gets to decide what's acceptable? Right now, we have laws in place that say that if you say something that causes an imminent threat, causes imminent danger, meaning that person is in danger as a direct result of what you said, then that is illegal. That is also impossible to prove. But that's not true. That was an exaggeration. But it's not often that you can prove that somebody said something. Let me use Kanye West saying on Twitter, I'm going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. I don't even know what that means, but it just didn't sound good. I have no idea what he was talking about, but it sounded like a threat. But that was not an actionable threat. There was nothing illegal about that. But did it cause problems? Did it cause fear for people of the Jewish religion? Did it cause other people to add on hateful things? Yeah, it really did. And that's where social media is playing a role that we've never had before, and our laws are not equipped to answer. And I termed it mass incitement. And mass incitement is when you've got enough people saying enough things that it's going to cause problems, danger, injury to someone else or to another group of people.
Before you keep going, does your book address the kind of gray area? Because it has to get to that point, but there's a a kindling effect where something starts off small, but it has to get big before we deal with it. But isn't it too late at that point? If it's everybody's thinking it, or a significant portion of the population is thinking something, isn't it already too late? So wouldn't it make sense to just squash people at the beginning when they start saying stuff instead of waiting until it rises to that level?
Personally, I'd love that, but in practice, I don't know if that's realistic in the United States. But I'll tell you, there are countries like Europe, the European Union, so that means every country that's a member of the European Union, Australia, New Zealand, these countries have hate speech laws. And they have well-defined hate speech laws. And we would do well to learn from that. But because of the First Amendment and people screaming, no, the government can't suppress my speech, and the government cannot suppress our speech, then we have to do this through legislation instead of government mandate. And what I talk about in the book is, and I don't want to get too legalistic here or into too much legalese, but you might have heard of something called tort law, civil rights law, and healthcare law. These three areas of law deal with things that cause foreseeable damage in the future if left long term. Let me give you an example, because that sounds like a bunch of legalese right there. Essentially, we know that you can't put asbestos in walls anymore because that causes us damage after long-term exposure. That is a foreseeable harm with long-term exposure. Similarly, you have to put warnings on toys for kids of a certain age. You know, don't put this bag over your head, for example.
Correct.
Right? Because that is a foreseeable harm. What is happening on social media is a foreseeable harm. Like you are absolutely right. One cigarette does not cause cancer. Right? One racial slur doesn't cause a riot. But built up over time, that is predictable, foreseeable harm that we know is coming.
Where have we seen the harm? What's an example? What's something that you could say, this is the cancer right here. This is from the constant negativity. Here's the cancer right here. It festered, and this is what the result is because of the discourse online. Where is that at in society right now?
I think that it's in it's in two places. One is very obvious out there, and then the other one is not so obvious. So I'll give you the not so obvious one first. I have a friend who is Jewish and who goes to temple, and they got together and trained a bunch of the men, I think some women too, but in the temple to use guns. And they now carry guns to practice their religion in a temple because if a shooter ever comes in, they don't want to have to wait for security to act. They want to be able to be inside the temple and act themselves. That is unconscionable, I think, in the United States, that we can't worship the way we want to worship without fear for our lives. And that's not true. That's not only Judaism that has that problem. You could argue the same about Muslims. You can argue the same about Christians. There's been plenty of shootings in churches, too. But the Constitution of the United States of America is very careful to guard our freedoms against two things. The first thing it does is guards our freedoms against the government. The second thing it does is guard our freedoms against each other.
Well, Doc, what was the second example? You said there's a not obvious one and a very obvious one. What's the second?
The very obvious one will be, and I like to use examples from both sides of the aisle. I'm going to couch this by saying that because, unfortunately, this one's coming from the right, but there are plenty of examples on the left, too. So an example is, when you go back to the presidential debate with Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, and Donald Trump mentioned the video where the woman, he said, Haitian immigrants were eating people's pets. If you look at that video, that was not a Haitian woman. She was an American woman. She was mentally ill, and she ate a cat, one cat. Horrific as it is, but absolutely not the way he portrayed it. And then, because people challenged it, he doubled down by putting the video where they had found that information. He put the video on social media for all of us to see that it was not a Haitian immigrant, right? But he and J.D. Vance and others were promoting this idea that Haitian immigrants in this little town in Ohio were eating people's pets. And do you know what happened in that town? There were death threats. There were death threats. They had to close schools. They had to close government buildings. People couldn't send their children to school. They were terrified. And there was a Republican businessman who spoke out in favor of his Haitian employees, and he got death threats. Now, here's the thing.
Well, Doc, hold on a second. It's very, you know what? You just really, that last example just really opened my eyes, because I wasn't even thinking about it like that. That is a very powerful thing, because you have the most powerful man in the world pushing something out on social media. So now it's I really understand. That's why I'm glad you went to that second example, because now I clearly understand what you're talking about, because it might be confusing, but I get what you're saying, how people can, they don't have to be careful. They can recklessly throw something out there and it grows legs and you don't know where it's going to end up. So now it makes sense what you're saying.
But how do you address
I can give you another example really quickly, although I hate to do this because it's also from the right, so I apologize, because I really want to be more balanced. I strive to be more balanced. But another example would be Rudy Giuliani, who said that these two Georgia women had rigged the election in Georgia. And he had a tape, and he used the tape to prove it. And he was told by the women themselves, who said, no, we did not, the Republican governor of the state of Georgia, the Republican attorney general, everybody said that's absolutely not true, that did not happen. But Giuliani did not let go of it. There's nothing criminal about what he was doing, but it was a civil case. Those women took Giuliani to court. And that video, the very video that he was using to say, see, this proves that they're passing information between each other, it turns out that what they were passing between each other was not a USB drive, it was a ginger mint. And his own video proved that. So at the point that you've got government officials telling him to stop, and he didn't stop, those women's lives were upended. They couldn't go to work. They couldn't leave their homes. They got death threats. He accused them of rigging a U.S. presidential election. That is significant. Their lives were money.
And he lost his licenses. Also.
Yeah.
No,
but it shouldn't have gone that far. It should not have gone that far.
Doc, we have so many questions to ask you, but believe it or not, we have run out of time. We have to.
You're kidding.
Well, you'll come back on, Doc, because believe it or not, it's over. Dr. Massey's book, Free Speech is Not a Free Pass to Spew Hate, is available now on Amazon and other major booksellers. For more information about Dr. Massey and her work, visit her website, JoannaMassey.com. That's MASSEY.com. We'll also have links to Dr. Massey and her book on our website, ShakeItOffLive.com. Thanks for coming on the program, Doc. I'm sorry, but we have to come back soon. Will you come back?
Thanks for having me.
When we come back, we'll be joined by Fred Vokola. He's a Miami-based technology entrepreneur, philanthropist, and board director, serving as chairman and CEO of Simpro Group and co-founder and vice chairman of Kaseya. He's the author of The Coming Disruption, a book examining how AI-driven hyper-automation will upend global industries and workforce structures. So it's imperative you come back after the news at the top of the hour, suffer through a few commercial messages, but once that's all done, Mert, Alex, Gabby Pisani, Fred Vokola, along with the rest of the AM 970 team, will be reading right here for you. We know you want it. We know you want to shake it off with us. We know you do. Please come back for hour 2. Stay with us. After the break, Fred Vokola joins us to explain how AI is about to rewrite how every company on the planet operates. Don't move. More after this.
preceding hour of programming, sponsored by Shake It Off Live, LLC. This is WNYM, Hackensack, New Jersey, New York City.